Hello, everyone. Today is a very special day since I am going to be announcing Filip's next East vs. West super match in the super heavyweight division. But first, I'm going to give it like a chance. I'm going to give like 15 minutes for some people to come in before I announce it. And, maybe we could discuss who you guys think it might be. I don't think you guys will guess it because it is a little bit, he's a tough guy to guess, I have to say. But it is a very interesting match, and I'm very excited about it. So, yeah. Hello, Benji. Hello, Sylvester Stallone. Hello, Sarku. We got School Lady Boy. Got MG Blast. Hello, everybody. So yeah, I'll try to maybe wait like 15 minutes, let some people get in here, and then I'll announce the match. But for now, I'll just talk, and you guys can give guesses about who you guys think it'll be. Hello, Proper Monkey. Hello, Jeremy. Hello, Nope. I said no, Google. That's a very interesting name. Hello, Francisco. I'm curious who you guys think it is, because I think there's a lot of people who might. I'd be impressed if someone can guess it, but I am curious what people think. How many matches for East vs. West 12? I think they shoot for 10 now. I don't know, but I think they shoot for like 10. So I'm going to guess 10. Yes, this match will be at East vs. West 20. That's a great question. I should have answered it. Will be at East vs. West 20 in Switzerland. I got the privilege of announcing this because Dexter said, hey, you want to announce this. But this will not be a weird thing. Like, I will announce one, but a lot of other people are going to be announcing people. So it's not just me. So, yeah, I think Benji's announcing one tomorrow. Later tonight, Thomas Stubblebine's announcing one. So there's going to be a lot of people announcing matches. I think this is going to be a more regular thing. I just so happen to be the first one announcing it. South African fella. That would be interesting, but I will say it is not Riker Bornman. But I think that one's definitely coming. Like it may not be this match, but it'll happen. It'll happen. It is not Riker Bornman. I know you think it's Riker Bornman. It is not. Even though they have been talking. They're talking, but they don't have a match set. Phil versus Corey West. That would be interesting. It is not Corey West, though. All right. I'm guessing it's Prudnick. Not Prudnick. It's super heavyweight. Super heavyweight. Phil versus Derek. Derek Smith is ready for it, supposedly. It is a super heavyweight. You fuck with GVW. They have 16 matches lined up. I feel like that's too much. I mean, I don't really think it's too much. It depends. Like, Mac, for example, they'll have like 20-something matches, but they keep them going, so it's okay. Yeah, it kind of depends how you run it. Schoolboy, Tobias, Chance Shaw. Those are not bad guesses. Still, nobody has guessed it yet. I'll say, like, I'm going to try to think of a good hint. This is his East vs. West debut. How about that? This might be a fun way to do it. I'll just go until someone can guess, but I'll like give progressively better hints. Like, I could give another hint that would like give it away like immediately. Sergey Chervov, no. Wagner, no. Yeah, it's his East vs. West debut. First ever match at East vs. West. Not his first like high-profile super match. Well, yeah, probably his first high-profile super match, yeah. Porkchop's been at East vs. West before, actually. It was against Zurab. I want to say East vs. West 7. Long time ago, and he tore his pec. Saban, well, okay, East vs. West and King of the Table, because Saban's been at King of the Table against Pavlo. It was kind of a weird card. They had Dennis versus John, Hermes versus Levon, and then Saban versus Pavlo. It was a very confusing card how they did that. Not Chobutaru, no. Kurl Sergachev, no. Honestly, I think you guys might never get this. I may just say it. I think it's probably better I do that. Mirla Aslanov. That is actually not a bad guess. That is like a very, you got to be in the know to have picked this one. That's a smart pick, but no, it is not him. All right. He is, his opponent's Italian. Jeff Dave. Jeff Dave would actually be kind of fun, but Jeff Dave is nowhere near Philip's level. You gotta, yeah. Jeff Dave is, you gotta put Jeff Dave and Auden in something. I don't think it's even close. Yes, it is. Francesco gets it correctly. It is, in fact, Manuel Battaglia. Manuel has given a lot of trouble to Sanders before, and Sanders held and talked to Matt. So there was a very real chance that he can give a lot of trouble to Philip. Philip's never lost his wrist, but Manuel is like an open arm top roller, and I don't think he's really ever lost his wrist before. So should be fairly interesting. Manuel is Philip's first opponent that's going to test him from a size perspective, because Filip is, Philip's 380 pounds. Manuel is like 350 pounds. He is very crazy high energy. Filip's very crazy high energy. So yes, it is Manuel Battaglia from Italy. Well done to Francesco for getting that. There you go. I didn't know that you bet against me, but there you go. I don't think it's going to go as well as you hope, though, but we'll see. I love that guy. Yeah. So I don't know the deal with his visa issues, but I believe what ended up happening was the visa issues was for coming into America. Like, he got stopped at the border or something, but with Switzerland, it's going to be much easier. So he should be able to get into Switzerland, no problem. And yeah, I'll tell you right now, Manuel is like a very fun personality. Like, I've not spoken with him directly ever, but I've seen some of his matches. He's very entertaining. So Manuel Battaglia should be some good fun at a very minimum. Will he get his ESTA done in time? I don't know what you mean, Mike. Yeah, so like apparently I've heard that he's actually somewhat famous in Italy, like outside of arm wrestling. So I don't know. No problem for Italian. There you go. This guy, I feel like he's got to be Italian with that name. So there you go. No problem for Italians getting this with him. But I think like at this point, I don't know what happened the first time though. Manuel's cooked for sure. I wouldn't say for sure. I mean, listen. So Filip beat Sanders, and then Manuel lost to Sanders. That would be the only way you could kind of tie something between them. But Manuel has beaten Frank, and Frank has beaten Matt. So I don't actually think like he's cooked for sure. But Filip maybe deserves to be the favorite, but it's not like completely impossible. Because, like I said, Manuel's given a lot of trouble to Sanders, and he's getting better. Manuel's new is the thing, so he's improving quickly. So yeah, it's definitely not impossible for Manuel to win. Can we have you rate our arm wrestling hot takes? Sure. Everybody put an arm wrestling hot take you have. The most well, that's my personal opinion, because I think Filip is way better than what you guys have seen. But based on what he's proven, it would make somewhat sense that that he could lose to Battaglia still. But yeah, like, I mean, my personal opinion, I think he'll beat Battaglia, but I've been wrong plenty of times before, so we'll see, right? But yeah, the other thing is I don't really know if Manuel has more than just a top roll. Like, Philip's never lost his wrist, but this is the hardest top roller he's ever gone against by like a pretty wide margin. I know people probably, like, if you did a poll, people would pick Matt to beat Manuel, but Manuel would beat Matt. So because of that, this is actually, certainly a step up in competition. Is it enough of a step up in competition is a different question, but this is without a doubt like his new hardest opponent he's ever had. So yeah. Let's see. Back pressure is greater than side pressure. Side pressure kind of overrated. I think almost everybody agrees with this, though. Like, if you were to line up everybody at your arm wrestling club and just do a straight back like hammer curl, there's probably like the list of people who hammer curl versus the list of people who can pin who on the table. It's probably the exact same. Yeah. So like back pressure, very good. I don't think anybody thinks it's bad. Prime Dennis is the most overrated arm wrestler of all time and would barely be top 10 today. Prime Travis may be the most underrated and would be number 1 or number 2 lefty and top 10 righty today. I agree with the Prime Dennis statement. Maybe not barely top 10 today, but because he was freaky strong. But I do agree with the Prime Travis. Maybe not number 1 lefty. I think he loses to Vitaly. I think he loses to Morozov. I think he loses to Devin today. But yeah, Prime Travis would be quite good. But you still got to remember, he was 260 pounds, and he was going up against people who were nowhere near the weight of the guys today, and nowhere near the level of arm wrestling proficiency of the guys today. So yeah, thoughts on Todd versus Irakli? Listen, this latest time, Todd kind of got away with some stuff he shouldn't have got away with. Every single start, he's jumping his elbow like this, which is a huge advantage. That being said, I cannot help but feel like when I watch that, if Todd planted his elbow, he would have done all the same things. Like if he just really planted his elbow and still did the exact same move, just losing his wrist but keeping his pronation, he'd probably win. If Irakli comes in with dramatically different strength and a dramatically different game plan, he can win. But if his plan is, I'm going to just pull backwards as hard as I can, as Todd goes sideways, he's going to lose 100%. He needs to come in with a new game plan. He needs to innovate his training regimen instead of just top rolling harder. He can't do the last thing harder because he'll just lose worse. My hot take is that Ibrahim Segov is Devin's biggest threat after Vitaly and Levon. Not in the super heavyweights, but maybe in 115, sure. Training glutes is essential. That's true. I don't know if this is a hot take, or if you're just saying this, but yes, Filip will absolutely destroy Wayne Withers. That match is, it doesn't make a lot of sense, frankly, but it is what it is. Prime Don Underwood would be top. See, that right there is a hot take. A prime Don Underwood. Yeah, that one's a hot take. Who is 260? Travis. Really, Travis was 290. Okay, fair enough. Irakli will try to get away with 4-inch elbow fouls and will claim the refs are biased against them. I've never seen Irakli try to get away with elbow fouls. Irakli doesn't foul that much, but yeah, if he loses, he may say that the refs are biased again. We'll see. Travis at his biggest was 285 and 290 when he steamrolled Dave and Jerry. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, exactly. Here's the thing. It's not that simple, though. Todd has Irakli's number on speed dial. If Irakli's plan is, I'm going to go here and then I'm going to hammer curl as hard as I can from the losing side, then he has his number on speed dial. If his plan is in the center of the table, I'm going to work my side pressure a whole lot and I'm going to improve my cupping to try to turn over Todd's pronator and then roll him open, similar to how Prudnik did, he can absolutely win. So it's not as simple as Todd has Irakli's number on speed dial. There could have only been a few percentages this latest time that was the difference maker. So I wouldn't be so sure that it's completely a foregone conclusion. But yes, Todd should be the favorite. Auden will beat Samusha. This is definitely a hot take. This is about as hot as a take can get. I don't think so. Yeah, this one, does anyone know Gabby and Barbora's left arm? I have no clue how their left arm compares to their right. If either of them are good lefty but not good righty, then this is should be pretty one-way traffic. But, Gabby and Barbora, it's always super close, and Gabby always loses. That's what it's been like so far. But left-handed, it is a totally different match now. But I don't know what the deal is with that. Which is more important, cup or pronation? Hint, it might not be pronation. I believe that raw pronation like this is not as important as actually your hammer curl. So I would say cup is more important. But maintaining your pronation is more important than maintaining your cup. But maintaining your pronation is not always achieved through this strength. It's achieved through your hammer curl, in my opinion. Samusha has a bad wrist injury. I have heard about this, but he would just flop Auden. It's still not enough for Auden to win. Is Vitaly going to win at East vs. West 20? I can't say his opponent. I expect him to beat his opponent, though. How about that? That'll be my hint. Will Vitaly versus Levon happen this year? If Levon wants to compete in December, there will probably be no other choice. So I think it definitely might happen this year. But yeah, I would say it's. I'm not going to call it unlikely just because if Levon says, I want to compete, give me an opponent, his opponent will be Vitaly, 100%. Devin will say no right now. Well, maybe. I don't know if he'll say no. But, yeah. But I don't expect it, but it's definitely possible. It would actually come down to Levon. If Levon wants to compete, it'll happen. If Levon doesn't want to compete, then it won't happen. No, Samusha needs more than an injured wrist to lose to Auden. He needs an injured, probably a broken arm. A broken arm, then it will be 50-50. I don't think Devin's beating Vitaly, Luke. I'm actually curious, Luke. Give me your explanation as to why Vitaly will beat Devin, because I feel like a lot of people are picking Vitaly for some reason. But if any of them had to actually explain why they've done that, I don't think any of them have an explanation of why Vitaly beats Devin. They just say Vitaly beats Devin. Vitaly will say I need more time. Yeah, that has been a go-to Vitaly excuse thus far. Seems like there's basically been no opportunity to make the match except for right now at the Shaw Classic, and Vitaly is the only reason it didn't happen. Now, this is, in my opinion, more interesting than them right-handed, because I think right-handed is not close. I think Devin will absolutely destroy Vitaly. Left-handed, I think Vitaly would probably win, but Devin could pull off a miracle, which is why I think left-handed is more entertaining. But I actually think Vitaly's flop might be a problem for Devin left-handed, because I think Devin would need his king's move to take Vitaly's wrist, but Vitaly has that really long lever, so his flop will be probably much more effective than Alex Krejci's, because Alex Krejci does not have the side pressure of Vitaly, and I don't think he has the ability to flop in the same way as Vitaly, because even if you're big and strong, that's not really where the flop is generated from. It's more like elbow conditioning, and Vitaly has more of that. So I do think Vitaly would win left-handed, but I think it would be more coming down to would Devin take his wrist, because I don't believe that. Well, he needs to take his wrist for sure, but I don't believe that he can sustain after that. That would be the more interesting part, because I do think it would be quite uncomfortable dealing with such a long lever flopping. We already saw that with, just think about Vitaly and Camille versus Michael Todd. Camille couldn't, but Vitaly could. It's a weird scenario that you get somewhere like that with flop pressing, but when you've got reach and king's move coming into play, that's the kind of stuff that could happen. Let's see. If Aljon and Devin ever go at it left-handed, the whole match would be set up, and I honestly think Aljon could outsmart Devin. Aljon outsmarting Devin is not on my bingo card. I'm going to be honest. If that match gets set, and yeah, I definitely think Devin would be the smarter of the two when it comes to from a pure technique standpoint. I think Devin's pronation is enough to take Vitaly's wrist, but his arm power is enough to stop. Yeah, right here. This is what I think is going to go on left-handed. Right-handed, though, no. I think Devin has more arm. How realistically do you think? How far realistically do you think Filip is from top 10? If he's going up against Alex Krejci, he's already there. But if it's anyone else from the top 10, he would lose. Probably another year and a half. That would be my honest guess. I think Devin struggles with long arms like he struggles with Matt Mask. I'm guessing that Devin will get so he just said he struggled with Matt Mask. Devin completely stonewalled Filip in the center of the table, and Matt Mask got flash pinned horribly by Filip. So he does not struggle with long arms. It's practice. So that's why he struggles in practice. If Devin pulled me, he would struggle in practice because he struggles against everybody in practice, because that's his thing. His thing is he struggles in practice. But if you actually think that Matt Mask gives Devin trouble, that means that you should bet your house that Nugo will beat Devin, because Nugo completely spanked Matt around. But that's not the case. Matt does not give Devin trouble in practice. I kind of thought that would be done now, but apparently not. But yeah, I can assure you he does not struggle with Matt in practice at all. Because around the same time he was struggling with Matt in practice, he flash pinned Gennady 4 times in a row. Completely different levels. I can assure you he's not struggling with him. Devin's king's move might be the strongest kings anyone's ever had right now. Right-handed, I agree. And I guess left-handed, because there's never been a really good left-handed king's mover. Not all flops are the same. There's 2-3 variations. Yeah, talk to fucking Benji. Benji's the expert of the flop. Don't talk to me about the flop. Can Svetkov, Svetkov and Filip is kind of interesting because it would be 2 guys who have never lost their wrist before. It's like 2 undefeated fighters going against each other. It would be kind of interesting. Whoever, that match would be dictated in the first 2 seconds. Filip either gets here or he goes here. And then that would be the whole game. I think Svetkov would beat Filip right now. But, maybe in some time, Filip has a better chance. But once again, it's I don't know how good Filip's hand and wrist are because he's never lost it before. And I don't know how good Svetkov's hand and wrist is because he's never lost it before. So it's a little bit difficult. I guess I can say no, Aljon will not be, to my knowledge. To what I currently know of the card, Aljon's not on it. But there's a lot I don't know about the card. So, it's possible. Vitaly has some decent press. If Devin takes the risk, I don't think Devin can take Vitaly's pronation like he did to Hermes during pressing. Yeah, like if we're talking more left-handed, sure, but right-handed, I definitely think that Devin would be able to turn over Vitaly. And I don't actually. I think Vitaly would need more than just his pronation to pin Devin right-handed. I understand that he says that, but we can put on our thinking caps, Luke, right? And we can use our brain. We're allowed to do that. And we can watch the arm wrestling. And we know that that's not true. Come on. You don't actually think that Matt and Devin are like this, but then Devin stopped Levon. But like Matt, is Matt going to stop Levon? I don't think so, right? It's completely different levels of guys. Yeah, if Devin struggles with long arms, he'd struggle with Alex. Well said. And, a result people like to forget, Alex Krejci beat Hermes 3-0 very easy in 2022. That actually happened. I know people feel like it didn't happen. It feels like it didn't happen. It feels like a fucking time warp through the universe, but it did actually happen. So Alex, as much as people think he's like totally trash, is not totally trash. And he does have a long arm, and he is a top roller. Reno versus, Nugo and Reno would be really good because they've got issues they would constantly be beefing. What's up, Tall? Yeah, a lot of people are surprised to hear that I'm 20. I think most people think I'm much older, but since I was 12, my mom said I was like a 45-year-old man, Also, by the way, for the people who are just tuning in, the Filip's next match is going to be up against Manuel Battaglia from Italy. I just thought I'd mention that because a lot of people are clicking on that and maybe they don't know. So there you go. I'm not saying Devin 2025 struggles, Matt 2025, but there was a time when it was close. Yeah, when it was close, like, 7 years ago, I agree. Sure, there was a time it was close. Not today. And you're using today evidence, or you're using evidence from 7 years ago to say it's close today. It's not the case. Devin struggles with long arms 7 years ago. It's not the case anymore. And also, Vitaly's lever is not much longer than Svetkov's lever, just as an example. So yeah, let's have Nugo versus Filip. Nugo versus Filip would actually be really interesting. But I do think Nugo would win just because Filip, it's the same reason I bet $2,000 for Nugo to beat Matt Mask, which I did actually do. Because Matt needs to come all the way down here versus Nugo's right here. Like next time, if you guys arm wrestle, next time you're at your club, take off your elbow pad and then make a legal setup. Like find someone with a slightly longer lever than you. Like let's say you're 6 foot, find someone 6'3". Get rid of your elbow pad, put your elbow down, have them put their elbow down, and see how easy it is to contain the top roll. You'll see it's completely different because to actually meet the hands in the middle when you have such a big height difference, because you're so much lower to meet in the center, they have to come so far down to you. And then because of that, as they crank backwards, they're cranking down from like an open arm angle where they're not very strong. So yeah, it's weird, but you feel it like having a short lever is actually a bit of a superpower. Ivan kills Kamel. I agree. I think so too. Yeah, just I rewatched the right-handed match and it was so much less close than I remember. I remember it being a little bit interesting. It was not a little bit interesting. It was a complete washing. So, okay, so let's just say Devin never stopped Levon. Devin stopped Georgi Svetkov. Could Matt stop Georgi Svetkov? I mean, come on. Yo, what's up, Lou? Lucifer. People don't know your name. Only I know your name. I know you don't want me to share it. I almost said your name, but there you go. I have a feeling that Zoranov will be really good in the future, and I would like – honestly, he completely shocked me against Michael Todd. I thought he might pin him, but I didn't think he would top roll him. That was like – when I watched it happening, I was like – it didn't feel like I was in the real world. I was very confused. Yeah, Nugo hates her. That'd be awesome. What's up, elbow down? I also know who you are, but I guess I'm not sure if you want me to share. But what's up, man? Alex Krejci and Hermes never had a rematch. They just practiced in a Larry Rosewood, and it was like, oh, yeah, Hermes is better. Yeah, so they had a match where both of them were completely ready, and Alex Krejci completely starched them. And then after that, they did a practice where nothing mattered, and Hermes won. I totally agree that happened. But we got to look at the match, not the practice, right? Why are we letting the fucking practice rule our thoughts? Alex Krejci did beat Hermes. That happened. Like, we got to give him his flowers, Is there a way I can pin this thing? Hermes or Benji, I don't know why I just called you Hermes, by the way. If you could pin this message, that would be great. Oh, actually, pin. All right, sweet. Thank you very much, Benji. After Gennadi's injury, do you think he'll be the same again? Yes, but not right now. He's currently not the same guy, but he can become the same guy. He's just not there right now. Yeah, like people think that Vitaly's levers are like something alien like. He's probably a half an inch long. Well, I know Matt is about a half an inch behind Devin. Oh, no. Matt is a half an inch behind Vitaly. Like Devin's lever should be about the same. And I actually know that Filip's lever is the exact same. And we all saw how Devin and Filip went, right? But no one's saying, oh, he struggles with long levers then, right? How would Matt or Nugo fare against Petrenko? I think they would both get absolutely demolished. Petrenko is like slowly becoming underrated because he got spanked around by Devin, but a lot of people would get spanked around by Devin. He completely destroyed Dadikan. After Dadikan completely destroyed Todd Hutchings. After Todd Hutchings basically beat everybody. So like, I think most people, if they were to be asked like, how would Nugo and Todd Hutchings do? They would probably pick Todd. But for some reason, Petrenko, who's proven he's probably a good bit better than Todd, we completely ignore that. And we're just like, oh, no, it's close. I don't think so. Mayan versus Auden. So Mayan should like completely demolish him, right? Like, I don't know a whole lot about Mayan, but I was telling Auden, I go, like, this is your opportunity to, like, this could be like the fraud check of a century here. If Mayan loses to Auden, he was nowhere near as good as we were saying he was. Like, this is going to be the worst fraud check ever. But I don't anticipate that will happen. I do think Mayan will win very, very easy. And I'm going to do like a live commentary of it. So it should be fun. First round, Levon, but I think it looks very similar to their first time meeting, if not worse, that Levon wins easier. But yeah, like you can't have me getting excited for a Levon match. Levon's going to spank everybody around. That's the truth of it. Mike said his pronator was hurt. Okay. Well, are you talking about the ping pong? If you're talking about the ping pong, I don't know. I mean, what do you mean if Mike had an actual prep? He was training. Are we going to act like Mike got up off the couch? Like 6 weeks is plenty of time to recover, and he was working out in between then. So I think Dave has no chance against Ibrahim. What do you say? I honestly kind of agree. I feel like I'm in the twilight zone when I read these poll results and everyone's picking Dave. I feel like Sagov is like the 90-10 favorite. I cannot understand that. Everybody in the chat, if you believe in Dave, let me know your reason why you're picking Dave. I'm kind of curious. Yeah, Vitaly and Levon, I think Levon just smokes him. That's the truth of it. Gennady, you know what? I'm just going to leave that message up there. That's pretty funny. Gennady's sister. That's fucking funny, dude. Oh, that's too good. How did you make this picture of Engen? Did you like put Engen's face over a woman? That's fucking funny, dude. It was ping pong. Okay. Who else pulled 6 weeks after pulling Vitat? After pull, I mean, something that specific. Dave might have done it against Morozov, but yeah. But like, I mean, Vitaly isn't some fucking mythical being. It's an arm wrestling match still, you know? But yeah, like it was certainly a tough one. I'm sure he took like a week to get better. But yeah, I mean, Mike before this Ronald match told me he's the strongest ever been. No cameras, nothing. He said he was in good shape. So I don't think I can just like completely write off everything Zoranov did because Mike was playing ping pong. It just doesn't make sense. So yeah, Levon versus Vitaly or Devin versus Vitaly first. Honestly, here's my opinion. Levon versus Vitaly. Vitaly gets to play with house money because he can lose in 4 flash pins, and then the Devin versus Vitaly poll literally does not change. We think like right now it's like 75-25 every time I've seen it. If Vitaly gets flash pinned 4 times by Levon, it's now 78-22. Like it really does not shift much. So Vitaly, anybody polling Levon plays with house money because they're allowed to lose. They're allowed to lose badly, and no one cares. So, you know, it's one of those things where it's like, I think Vitaly, if he were to stop Levon and give him some trouble, boom, Devin and Vitaly's just shot up in interest value. Because if he stops Levon, like let's say similar to how he did before, none of us think Devin's going to do that right now. We all think Devin's going to get flash banned. So because of that, it definitely pours. It doesn't pour any cold water on the match. And if Vitaly loses badly, no one cares. Devin lost badly. It's okay. So I think it would be. I think it would be a good idea to do Levon and Vitaly first. Do you think Levon can flash? Yeah, yes, I do. I think he flash bins everybody 4-0. Uninteresting. I think an arm wrestling league needs stuff that actually structured like a sports league, weekly matches, everyone faces everyone point system. I mean, that's basically what you have right now. If we're talking actual sports league, East versus West is run like every fight sport goes, where you get paid as an individual contractor, and they have events every now and again, and you get paid for the events you compete in. That's how. I mean, it's just not in a place where they can do that. When you went to Botcher's gym to do spar with anyone, I pulled a little bit. I honestly I was 48 hours of no sleep, and was I? No, I wasn't. But I was really beat up because I had a week before I did an 8-hour table practice, and my elbows were just ruined. So I didn't actually practice too much when I was there. But the level of that gym is ridiculous. The weakest guy there is really, really, really strong. Levon versus Vitaly first. I agree. Here's a match, Reichert versus Jordan. Jordan will do bad things to Reichert. Jordan is really, really good. I would not support that match. Listen, Reichert's good and all for being so new. He beat Pavlo, who lost to Brad Grundy. Pavlo is nowhere near the level of Jordan. They're way, way, way different. So, yeah, it definitely needs some time. Yeah, two Levon matches of the year to me is pretty reasonable, but honestly, I am in favor of giving it some time a little bit when there's no clear prospect. And right now there isn't. After Vitaly loses, the Glazers will have to find someone else to hype, probably Zauer. I'm down for a Zauer hype train again. I was on one a couple years ago, and then he tore his bicep. But I'm down for the Zauer hype train. Let's get Zauer to beat Zoranov, and then now we're in fucking fun time. Bro, what? See, here's the thing. Levon did get stopped, but he got stopped because he tried to turn Devin's pronator over. Then after that, he sort of had to think it through. But there was a reason he gave his wrist. He didn't give his wrist because he felt like doing it. He gave it because he was worried about losing it. So without a doubt, Devin posed some threat to Levon when Levon made an incorrect technical choice. To say that Levon just decided to hang out for 20 seconds is crazy. If I was there, would I have stopped Levon? No. There was clearly something Levon felt that made him nervous. So yeah, to say that Levon just decided to chill out was crazy. I completely disagree. Why are you going to pirate GVW? Do you want GVW to fail? EVW alone can't handle showcasing the abundance of talent coming from EU. We need another top. Here's the thing. GVW is breaking a lot of East versus West contracts in their existence. So because of that, I am against their existence because of that. But if they wanted to run a league that was legal, I would be fine with that. If they wanted to run a real league that wasn't breaking a bunch of laws, sure. But Gennady is under contract with East versus West. He cannot run this league. This is illegal. He's breaking the law doing this. I think you need to understand that. I think a lot of people don't get that. But yeah, GVW is fundamentally breaking the law just by their very existence. So, yeah, I was sick as fuck in Georgia. I had COVID. I actually forgot to mention that I did have COVID in Georgia. I didn't know I had COVID at the time. I wouldn't have been at the practice. I don't want to get anybody else sick, right? So, yeah. Svetan would be awesome. Yeah. Have you seen Schoolboy? If you mean in person, no. We need Blue Bowen back on the main stage. There you go. Get a Bowen and Ray rematch. It's time for Bowen and Ray. Botcha will wait until Levon retires and then take over. I don't think Botcha says he has a lot of issues gaining weight. So I think he's probably more like a 95 kilo guy. There you go. I guess Gennady won't invite you back in his car. I mean, I have no personal issues with Gennady, but I wish that they did this a little more. I wish they had a plan to work together a little more. It's so clearly that they're trying to directly compete with East versus West which I don't think is good for the sport. I wish that they were trying to, and there would be a way they can do this, trying to work with East vs. West. They chose to be an adversary of East vs. West. That was a conscious decision they made. They said, we are going to name ourselves GVW instead of EVW, clearly naming it like in, conflict with them. I'm not going to ask for permission despite the fact I'm under contract with them. I'm just going to start doing this. And then on top of all of that, he's doing it all with East vs. West contracted athletes. So it's like, yeah, they definitely could have worked together a little better. He could have said, hey, let's try to grow the sport here. We can do a collaboration event, something like that. But he chose to be an enemy. He literally an enemy of the sport. I like it's a bit of a joke, but yeah, he chose to be an enemy of the sport. So that's my only issue with what he's doing. But I think the card's great. I think the event's going to be awesome. I will be watching it, and I will do a live commentary. But will I support it financially? No, because it's like breaking a bunch of fucking laws. Like, why would anyone support this thing financially? It's like it's directly against what we are trying to work towards as a community. So, yeah, more arm wrestling is always great. I may not pirate it just because I don't like stealing. It's against my religion. But, there was mostly a joke when I said I am going to pirate it. I'll probably buy the pay-per-view. But I will be doing a live commentary. Yeah, that's the thing, though. It's like good luck enforcing the contract in Georgia. They can't really do anything, but he is breaking the law. Is Manuel natty? I have no clue. Gennady said he's under contract with his, and if they call him, he will pull. He said he won't have athletes pull under contract. That's a great number of things that he said. I don't think that's factually true, but that's great that he said those things. And that's awesome that you believe him that much. I don't think that that's true. And he is under contract with East vs. West to not compete with their organization. Plus, this whole fucking thing smells of Engen, all right? Right now, put a 1 in chat if you think Engen is involved in GVW. Put a 2 if you don't think he's involved. I'm actually curious what people think. Zauer versus Svetkov, I don't like that match only because Zauer is so fucked in it. Because he needs to, like Zauer, if he doesn't take your wrist, is like a local California 185 puller. But if he does take your wrist, he's like the fucking man. The problem is you can't put him up against Svetkov, like, because it's just one of them will win very easily, and it's just whoever wins the wrist, and we find out in the first 2 seconds of round 1, right? I mean, yeah, it's like it's so clear that they're once again intentionally being adversarial. That's not for me to share, Roy, but I guarantee some of the athletes are under contract with East vs. West and are not supposed to be competing at GVW and have just chosen to do that because they say, fuck you, I don't care. That's what's happening. I'm pretty damn sure. I'm not 100% sure for what it's worth because once again, I don't know the contracts. But from what I've heard, that's the case, and that's the issue right now. Because right now, think of it like this. Why would East vs. West have an issue with GVW if Gennady was just making his own league with a bunch of uncontracted athletes? What would be the issue? If it was somebody else, not Gennady, we'd say, great, they don't complain about AMC ever, right? Or Armatura, we don't complain about those. We're complaining because it's, they're going against a bunch of contracts that they signed and said that they wouldn't go against, right? Americans turning crazy, free Mark II ride Devon's D crazy. Roman not smart, but he's a good kid. Also, it's true he owns 50%. Okay, so almost everybody putting 1. We all agree that Engen is probably in some way involved with GVW, which would be illegal, by the way. Let's just be abundantly clear. He has signed a contract that he will not compete with them, and now he is competing with them. That would be very illegal. Roman is Engen's right-hand guy. Gennady was loyal to Engen, and all of a sudden they're running a sports league, which is exactly what Engen did 10 minutes ago. So, come on, dude. So anyway, that's why I'm not supporting it, because it's fucking illegal. Make a poll for anonymity. I think we would have did the poll. 5-1, and the 2 was Gennady's sister, who I think is trying to maybe cover up for his friends. I don't think Michael Tuttle will be top 5 in super heavyweight. Well, okay, let's think of 5 people who can beat him. We got Devin Levon, Hermes, Vitali. That's 4. I don't really see a 5th that beats him for sure. But those 4, I'm confident beat him. Yeah, Gennady's sister's trying to cover up for his. He's trying to cover up for his people. I think they're all AI. I'm pretty sure that they put in East vs West posters as like inspiration, and they asked AI to make their posters. Exactly. Like, can you imagine how the Eastern Europeans would throw a fit if this happened? But because it's an Eastern European doing it, it's like, whoa, man, what are you pirating it for? It's like, what the hell? Once again, I like, it was mostly a joke. I probably won't actually pirate it, or I definitely won't pirate it because it's against my religion. But yeah, I'm Buddhist. Yeah, I understand you heard all this data and everything is true and you do not agree. That's fine. I understand that you're stuck in your belief. You're allowed to be stuck in your belief. But everything I just said is true. They are breaking the law. And if you are against breaking a contract that you signed, you are against GBW. That's just a fact. I don't know what Morozov. Morozov beating Mike. Yeah, that's not. And then you wake up. You know that's just never going to happen, Alex. Okay, your boy Morozov got a bum wrist and a bum elbow. Okay, he's not beating Mike. But Mike and Sauer would be good. I know Jeremy, you don't know the levels, man. Okay, that's why you're saying that this is a what the fuck. But Zauer has really good hand control, and Mike, would never win center against anything. So he's going to be over here immediately. Zauer going to try to climb. Zauer has more riser than Hermes. I know people just, I would say that people throw a fit, but it's true. And Zauer has a much stronger wrist than Hermes. That being said, I think Zauer would be much more susceptible to Mike's shoulder press. So yeah, I do think like if that match happens, I'm picking Mike, but I'm not betting on it. Like it really Zauer could win if he's able to climb, and if he knew what to do, absolutely. Levon gave his wrist because he was psychologically afflicted. Yeah, okay. He showed up to an arm wrestling match without the psychological capability of doing this. Totally agree. That's definitely what happened. Definitely the same thing. If he was against me and I'm doing my open arm top roll, he would be very nervous and he'd give his wrist because he was psychologically afraid to fucking cup it in. That's definitely what happened. Okay. Yeah, if you ask him, he will let you know that he was very worried about losing his wrist because he felt Devin's pronation. That's what happened. The Eastern Europeans have more talent than we can count over here in the U.S. Why should they be strained to East vs West, and East vs West didn't respect their contract either? I don't know what contract East vs West didn't respect. They should be restrained to East vs West because they signed a contract saying that they would be restrained to East vs West. I don't think that's crazy to say. How do you think Prime John will be ranked now? Probably champion of 95, champion of 105 if Devin wasn't down there. Probably beats a lot of the guys at 115. Bites at the bottom of the super heavyweight division. Henry, you shouldn't even do a live commentary for GBW. No point in him. Listen, no one will be watching my live commentary and going to buy the pay-per-view afterwards. I don't think I'm going to be giving them any kinds of free exposure from that. I do think the live commentary is good for bringing in new fans, but I don't think that I don't think it's going to transition to pay-per-view sales for GBW, especially because most people, like, realistically, they're not that excited about the event. But like when you do a live commentary for East vs West, and I tell people, hey, buy the pay-per-view, I think that helps East vs West, but I don't actually think it does like that much help if you're just if I'm just watching and telling everybody what happens. So yeah. Prime John will be third in the world right now. I don't think so. I think he is probably losing to Vitaly, probably losing to Devin, probably losing to Levon. Yes, I understand he might have said this, but he also said to me in person at the exact same time that he felt Devin's pronation, didn't like it, so he flopped. Also, you're going off what he says. People, do this thing. It's called lying, right? Or maybe misremembering because he's filled with fucking adrenaline. It's round one against Devin in front of 1,000 people. So it's like, I understand you've heard him say this, but we can, once again, look at the match. And it's like, in the previous rounds, he kicked his wrist back and just kind of pronated and dragged through. But I don't think he was afraid to use his wrist. There was some strength he felt that made him afraid to use his wrist. It's not that simple. Well, no. You don't need to poll. The contract is that he can't compete with East vs West. He can't compete at a different organization. And he's starting a different organization, which is even worse. Yeah, there you go. Well, it's a tougher match. And also, to be clear, he never took Devin's wrist in the second match, ever. He never turned his pronation, nothing. He kicked his wrist back and just back pressure and pronated through. So I think there's a reason he didn't take Devin's wrist, because he fucking couldn't, because he wasn't strong enough, because Devin's pretty good. All right. Plot Devin is the secret owner of GPW. I don't think so, but maybe, right? Wouldn't that be interesting? Michael Todd's PR never fully translates to the table. When he tries to press and it fails, he immediately get into bone block. Well, yeah, it's kind of his style. Let's see. You're a good fan. Thank you for buying 2 of our pay-per-views. Gennadi's sister is very appreciative. How's your lifting? Yeah, I am up to 3 pounds now, which has been a big deal for me. You can see right there. I got 3 pounds loaded. You can't really see right here. If I go this way, I have my 3 pounds loaded up. So I have been lifting that for 12 hours every single day. And that's why I can't stream all the time, because I'm lifting my 2 pounds or my 3 pounds. So yeah. No, Henry. Sorry, bruv. Most of the guys, East West, are not under contract, and once contracted are contracted for only one hand. Yes, you know everything about the East West contracts. I totally agree with you. You know the back end. You were in the meeting. Yeah, you know. East West this year had athletes contracted for 4 matches, and East West didn't respect that for some of the Europolers. That might be true. I'll give you that. That I believe is true. But I don't think that. I'm not sure that the contract says they have to give them 4 matches. Like they have to offer them 4 matches. And if you turn them down, that's up to your prerogative. That's how UFC does theirs. Their contracts, you have to be offered 3 fights a year, minimum. You can turn them all down, but you have to be offered them. So, yeah. You think John Brzenk will return? And who would you like to see him against if he returns? I do think he will return. When he returns, the match is either Brian Shaw or Auden. You need a big money match. Those are the 2 ones to make. Yes, I was 2 feet away from it, and then I talked to talked to Devin and Levon right after it. So I got as fresh an opinion as I can get on it. And you could even hear Devin say his pronation, or Levon say his pronation felt super strong, which is why he didn't want to cup it in. Let's see. Are you ready for Pradeep? I am ready for Pradeep. Bring it on. Devin levels up every time he faces Levon, so that means Levon's never faced peak Devin yet. Yeah, but it's not. He can't just level up forever. He will eventually wane, right? I weigh like 185 pounds. Little off topic, what's the main principle of Buddhism? Honestly, ask ChatGPT, all right? I could explain Buddhism, but I think you might be the only person who's interested in it. I on the East or West matchmaking team? No. I'd be interested in doing it. I actually think I'd be quite good at it, just because I understand arm wrestling levels very much through betting. But I've never been asked to do it, but I would be interested. But as long as the team is doing an okay job, I wouldn't be interested. But if they're gonna set fucking some bad matches, then maybe I would be more interested. If I feel like they're doing a bad job, then I'd be like, okay, maybe have me help out. Or I would want to help out. But if they were doing a good job setting the stuff that I thought should be made, I have no interest in helping out, just because they're doing a good job, right? Bakaradze would be in Morozov's corner, fucking rubbing his arm down, talking strategy on round 3 after Levon's been flashed twice, and there was no fucking chance. He'd still be a believer, still. But he is also a realist and understands that Levon would spank Morozov around, unfortunately. Thank you for letting me know. Most controversial take outside of arm wrestling? I don't know. I couldn't really tell you. I don't know. So what, Levon is also getting better and smarter. Yeah, I mean, I absolutely think Levon's going to spank Devin a 3rd time. Don't get me wrong. All I'm saying, this all stemmed from Luke saying that fucking Matt gives Devin trouble, which just isn't true. That it turned into this random weird argument. But yeah, all I'm saying is that Devin is a lot better than Matt Mask, which I don't think is too crazy to say. I think Devin is a lot better than Matt Mask, because once again, we're able to open up our eyes, and we're able to look at the matches, and we're able to watch the arm wrestling and see what happens. Petition for Henry to attend Devin versus Levon 3 for a new channel profile. I don't think there would be. I think it would just be, if Devin and Levon 3 happens, I'm betting on Levon. Levon will win, and I'll cheer very, very big. If you look at my community tab, you can see my I posted my Hermes and Levon reaction because I bet like $2,000 on Levon. So that was kind of fun. Brian versus RVJ. A very prepared RVJ is taking that. RVJ as of late, I'm probably taking Devin. Brian beats RVJ. They play the same hand in game, and Devin is better at it. I don't know. I have a compliment. Henry is the. That's honestly like a pretty bad insult. I'm gonna be real. I don't like that. On will beat Benaugus. I don't think so. I don't know if that's exactly. How does a Buddhist order pizza? Make me one with everything. There you go. It's actually not. It's not a bad joke. Not a bad Buddhist dad joke. If you're looking for niche stuff there. 3 pounds. Yeah, Pradeep is still on 1 pound, but I did 2 pounds for 12 hours, and I think I could do 3 pounds for 12 hours. So yeah. Eventually, yes, but not today. Okay, see that on the other hand, yes. This is actually interesting. My girlfriend against Habry Larrett. I think my girlfriend wins. I'm pretty sure. Because listen, my girlfriend, you gotta understand, 6'4". Like her lever is like this, it's like this long, and her fingers are like that much longer than mine. So I'm and genuinely, when I arm wrestle my girlfriend, taking her wrist, I have to work. Her elbow this way, there's a big strength gap, but just the hand and wrist, it's actually like, I mean, I definitely can take it, but it's not like it's not like, you're arm wrestling a woman, her hand is really tiny and you just crumple it like it's not even there. Her wrist is good. Like I need to work a little bit. And I think I would if I arm wrestled my girlfriend and I arm wrestled Habry, I could give you a better answer. I've never arm wrestled Habry. I have no clue how good she is. But I mean, Habry's credential so far is beating local girls at like the high school women, I know my girlfriend would beat the high school women. So I am picking my girlfriend. But also I need to train her a little bit. She's got no technique right now. I told her to cup and go sideways. That's all she really needs to beat basically good girls who go to the gym. Like my girl has a friend, her name's Anna, not 6 foot, 5'6", 165, fucking strong, real muscular in the gym every day, eating right, everything. And Kate just spanks around like she doesn't exist. So yeah. Yeah, they're meant to go viral. I'm going to be honest. I make shorts for money. That's the truth of it. So they're not always telling the story fairly, but I just try to make a short that's popular and goes viral because I want to get views and cash. That's the fucking truth of it. And plenty of people do the same thing. They just won't tell you that they're doing the same thing. I am after money when I upload a short. That's the truth of it. Henry is the American Engen. I don't think I have a whole lot in common with Engen, honestly. I'm also way worse at arm wrestling, and I've never run a single arm wrestling promotion. So, yeah. Filip versus Levon when? I'll say something that's going to make people throw a fit. Probably 3 years. Because Filip, 3 years ago, Hermes was much worse than Filip is right now. And people would, once again, they'd throw a fit about that. But Hermes lost to Alex Kradetsha very badly, and he got pinned by Matt Mask. So it's not too crazy to say Filip today is better than Hermes was 3 years ago. She is literally Thanos, though. That's the thing. She is kind of Thanos. That's why I describe her. I'm 5'11". Not really for me to share, so I won't share that. Hey, Camille, let me know if you want to hop on here. But yes, Devin 6, Camille 6, Devin 0 in Las Vegas on the left arm. The more I've been part of this community, the more I've realized the arm wrestling Reddit is AIDS. Hating on content creators because again, everyone there dislikes you. Yeah, I stopped using the Reddit, and the moment I stopped using the Reddit, I'm the worst guy ever, and I'm a piece of shit, and yeah, I don't know. They don't like me over there. Henry's 5'7". I met him. No. I can't. How do I check if it's the real Camille? I don't know how to do that. Go to channel. Let me just be sure. All right, guys, that is not the real Camille. Not the real Camille. Do not. Let me actually just ban him real quick. Remove. Oh shit! I only fucking deleted them. I don't know how to. So someone's gotta. Alex, could you ban fake Camille? I'm fucking old. I don't know how to do this shit. And his girlfriend at 6'4". He just saying that to cover his true height, which is 5'7". Listen, I'll stand next to the door. Okay, you guys can see me next to the door. All right, I'm not short. I promise you. I am in fact 5'11". Yes, but okay, not real Camille. So do not, don't really pay attention to them. Bro is 20, Buddhist, and has a 6'4" girlfriend. When did you manage all of these things? So I became 20 when I was 20. I became Buddhist when I was 18, and I got the 6'4" girlfriend when I was also 20. Actually, just a couple weeks ago, but I've been seeing her for a long time. Do you think most of this drama could have been prevented if Engen smoked a joint? I think Engen needs more than a joint, but maybe edibles. Reveal who Vitaly's opponent is, please. No. I would be in big trouble if I did that. Jerry would not be bad, yeah. Hello, Andy Beckett. Devin legit will never beat Camille. I don't think so. That's crazy. Wow. So literally, your mom and dad are me and my girlfriend's exact height. That's hold on. I'll send her a screenshot of that. That's actually so funny. Okay. So the door is 6 foot. No, every door, standard American door is 6'8". Okay, you can see me next to the door. Give advice for a short Kingsborough. How did you bag a 6'4" girl? I would honestly say my advice for women would be don't be broke. Step one, don't be broke, because women don't like broke guys. Even the women that act like they're good-hearted are not good-hearted. At the end of the day, they want shit to be paid for. They need shit to be paid for. Don't be broke. Rule number 2, be in as best a shape as you can and have your shape be after women's gaze, not men's gaze. Men's gaze, you got to be like fucking 300 pounds, right? We'll be like, damn, look at that guy. The truth of it is, women don't mind if you're 160 pounds and you have abs, right? That's what women like. That's just the truth of it. Look at, every Calvin Klein model or whatever. That's what they look like. So be lean, be in good shape. And then number 3, just got to be a charismatic and likable person, which I don't know how to really tell you how to do that. But yeah. And also just like experience. Like I went out with a lot of women before I met her. So experience with talking to women and, just time. Let's see. Do you think Alajon can do anything to Vitaly? I don't think so. Give Vitaly's opponent a hint. Listen, I don't want to get in trouble, so I am not even going to do this. Why did you become a Buddhist? I think it just makes you happier. I think it also makes you a better person. Vitaly opponent is Hermes, I think. Hermes would be good. Yeah, Hermes would be awesome. I don't see Devin doing anything to surpass Camille Lefty. I think he might have already done it. That's the thing. How long did it take you to train before you noticed you felt stronger? Well, my first 3 years or like 2.5 years of training was only rock climbing. I've never actually been a guy like who just goes to the gym. I don't go to the gym really. So I rock climbed before, and right now I basically only arm wrestle and I lift like a little bit, but truth is I'm lazy as fuck. So, but yeah, like I would say only a few weeks before I felt myself getting stronger, but it was just based on my rock climbing results. So I might have just been getting smarter at climbing, right? Devin versus Vitaly after poll East versus West 20. That would actually be, I need to be in the back room during the event to try to get a video of that if that happens. Yes, all national. My mom was a Division I basketball player. The WNBA was around back then. Wow, that's interesting. Yeah. I don't know why my girlfriend doesn't play like water polo or something. Like, you got to do something. They said they're going to nuke Vegas. I have to Google because maybe Vegas nuke. 1 second, because like maybe you're not joking. News. Okay, yeah, you are joking. I was like thinking like maybe they are actually gonna nuke Vegas. Gotta be there. You go, right there. I'll say confidence goes a long way with women, but at the same time, like I am a little bit black-pilled in the sense where I definitely think looks goes a long way. You need to work on yourself being as presentable as possible. But most of that just goes down to like be as big as you can while being a low body fat percentage. Don't walk around with a big old pot belly. No women like that. And the women who like that are fat themselves. That's the truth of it. If you'll see women be like, "Oh, I love me a big man," and they're also fucking fat. If you don't want a fat girlfriend, don't be fat yourself. I told you, man, I'm not giving out any hints. I don't want to get in trouble. I don't want to get in any trouble. I'm not giving out no information. I'm sorry. Devin's left hand is underrated. He's got a better chance to get the left hand gauntlet. This is interesting to me. Devin actually could get the left hand gauntlet. And I feel like it's a sleeper thing no one's discussing, but it's like very, very, very possible that he can do that. Yeah. Okay. When did they start dating, though? When they started dating, Devin looked like fucking Superman, right? And now he has a pot belly, but she's in love with him, so it's okay. He's also like an international, world famous kind of guy. It's a little and a very accomplished athlete. There's a lot of things about that, and is very financially successful. And they've got kids together. Like it's not as simple as just like Devin has a pot belly, so he has no chance. But if Devin was like, let's say Devin looked like Devin, but he was not famous, he was not rich, and he was single, he would struggle. That's the truth of it. Because he also does not shower. Showering goes a long way. Hey, Zephyr, I'm the guy to bet your life savings with. We might be able to talk. Let's see. If Devin beats Vitaly left first, right hand would be next. This is the only issue. Yeah, if it happens left-handed first, it kills the right-handed match. So do right hand and then do left hand. This is the same thing that happened with Vitaly and Morozov, even though it actually ended up being like good. But they did right-handed first, and Morozov got rolled, and then they did left-handed after, and there was no hype on the left arm. So even though it ended up being a great match, like we all love that match, it was not hyped up at all. And pay-per-views are sold on anticipation. You can't sell pay-per-views the day after. So yeah. Anyway, all right. Thank you everybody for coming out. It's been about an hour. I think that's about good. I appreciate you guys for coming out here. Filip Larsson's next match will be Manuel Battaglia here at East vs. West 20. So yeah, I wish him good luck, and I do think he will come out victorious, but we'll have to see. Thank you everybody for tuning in. Appreciate it.